I'm Simon, this is Sideways Saw Blade. What I'm going to do today, or attempt to do, is make a zero clearance insert for the 10-inch job site table saw. It's a little different than most, and I'm going to show you why. But it's a great value and a great working saw, and I really like it, so I'm going to try to make it work. When I say I'm going to try to make it work, this is what I mean. Most table saws only have these ledges right here, and it's very uniform, and you can drop a plate right down in here. This saw, they've put some added barriers and protection that's over here. My guess is to keep sawdust from backing up towards the motor or something like that. I'm not really sure, but there's all different kind of heights on this one. The main one being this large one right here. I'm going to try to mill down a piece of lumber to about, I think it's 5/16. Get it to that size, try to take either my router or a Dremel and Dremel out this channel right here. You might be saying, hey Simon, why don't you just use the zero clearance insert that's in your hand? Well, this is the one that comes with this SKIL saw. It's metal, it's great. That's fine. I go online to buy another one. This is the aftermarket one I bought. There's none of it that's metal at all. They made it plastic so you could cut, you know, you can raise your blade and cut up in here to get a zero clearance. And it was cheap. So what happens, I am in Florida, so I do work outside mostly and outside the garage. So it's very, very hot. Hence the reason I'm wearing flip-flops all the time out here. I know it's not really woodworking attire, but just roll with me. So I tried this, but out in the sun, this thing, it starts to bow up when it heats up. So I have this, a good old piece of S4S oak. I bought a big board, and the cost was crazy. That was before I had a planer. I do have a planer now, so that's pretty awesome to me, and it has quickly became my #1 favorite tool so far. Since this is my first video on this channel, let me just say, while I set this up, I am very aware of my setup here. The look of the garage and how stuff is kind of strewn. It looks super busy, but for this is the only place I have to film right now. I do have another YouTube channel involving RC cars where my lighting is good and everything else. So I do understand lighting, and I do understand a background and filming. This is what I have right now, so this is what I'm going to try to make work. This is the new wind planer that I have. It's the cheapest one with a spiral cut. Not a helical, but a spiral cut. A lot of people get that wrong. My background in wood is building cabinets and cabinet installation for many years, but I don't have any experience in fine woodworking or anything like that. That's not what this channel is going to be about. This channel is going to be down and dirty, hence the name Sideways Saw Blade. Not everything's going to be perfect, not everything's going to be pretty, but it's going to be practical and functional. So I'm going to give you some shots of my planer here, and let's see if we can make something happen. Now this is why the planer, although I'm a novice, has become my favorite tool in the shop, is because you can't do this with anything else. When you want to get stuff damn near perfect and to fit right and to not drive you crazy, this is the way to do it. The original insert. All right, let's see. Okay, now this really looks like it's gonna fit, almost near perfect fit. But as you see, I'm still like probably 3/16 of an inch sticking up. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut out a channel in this side right here to make a relief. I want to cut the least amount as possible out of there for the channel because I want it to still be as sturdy as possible. Now I'm gonna try to freehand this channel with this router, and hopefully it works. That's why I'm calling this channel Sideways Saw Blade, baby. It don't always work out, but we can do it over. I've got this double-sided tape down so it's not going anywhere. wear a mask, all that good stuff, the safety stuff. Do as I say, not as I do. Use my brand new little belt sander. See how this thing works out? Well, let's see if I'm anywhere close. You can see all the cutouts that I had to make on this, little notches. Hopefully it's going to be worth it. I put a small SKIL saw blade in there, 5.5 inch. The 10-inch blade sticks up just a little bit, so I can't get this all the way down. So I've put that small blade on. We're going to fit this on. Fits nice. And then I'm going to plug it in, raise the blade, but first I'm going to put this over to hold it down. And I've got a 2x4 here to hold this edge down as I basically a plunge cut up into the insert. So let me plug my saw in. Okay, that's where the blade will be. Okay, after doing this, I am glad it's done. Don't get me wrong when I say though, I'm not sure how much a zero clearance insert is worth to you, because this one took a long time, but it works now. And the reason it takes such a long time is because, as I pointed out before, having to cut all these little reliefs in here. I can't switch anything from this over to this to lock it down, because if I do this lock right here, I will have to mill this down too thin, and that will be too thin for that to put on there. So this is what I did. They have these little tabs right here. I basically bored a hole in everything, a very small hole, a 2mm hole, because if you get anything bigger, as you can see how close to the edge it has to be, those tabs are so small. Now I realize not many people are going to have this small of fasteners, but you can get them fairly cheap on Amazon, really cheap. I marked the holes and I drilled and tapped these holes. Now this is aluminum, so it went in pretty easily. And like I said, there's some kind of specialty tools that you have to have, like the really small little taps, but it did work. I'll give you a little demonstration right here. Let it fit on here. And the reason I have these kind of tools and fasteners is, like I said, I have another channel called Forever Young RC. It's an RC car channel. So I have all these really small bits and tools and stuff. So it worked out for me. Now I'm lacking one M2 screw here, but I'll order one of those and get another one of those. So these will go right down in there. It's nice and flush, goes over. And that, my friends, to my knowledge, is the first working zero clearance insert for the 10-inch SKIL table saw. It was some work to get it done. This just shows you you can do it, just according to what length you want to go to. Down in the comments, let me know if you've seen a zero clearance insert, a wooden one done like this. I've seen one on a CNC machine done, but let's face it, not many people have one. So I wanted to do this and show you, for anyone that has this table saw, because a lot of people have this table saw, that you can do a zero clearance insert for this saw. Let me know in the comments if you've seen anybody, if I've missed it, or how you would fasten it different, or do you have any ideas on a better one for this? I'd be all ears. But I appreciate it, and I got more videos to come.